is Gianna Llanes, your Miss Philippines Water 2020.
Hey guys, this is Patricia Santos, your Miss Philippines Air 2020, greeting you a happy International Women's Month!
Yes, we are so excited to be talking about that. And of course, there have been so many celebrations on our Miss Philippines Earth page and our Miss Earth page. And we're going to expound on that a little bit more with another episode of today's segment, which is our version of Man on the Street. So, of course, our Miss Philippines Earth staff took extra precautions to be able to discuss with regular netizens about relevant topics of today. And Padex and I are going to be evaluating their answers right after we hear them.
Yeah, if last time in our first episode we talked about the COVID vaccine and whether or not people would be ready or not to take part or to take the vaccine, tonight we will be talking about a very important topic which will be very relevant to everything we have been going through the past year. Right, Jana?
Yes. So if you have any questions or you have your own responses to the questions that we're going to be discussing, be sure to comment down below. And if you want to continue the conversation, make sure to share this with all of your family and friends as well, because of course it is so important to keep these discussions going. So let's get to the videos. Let's listen to everyone's answers to our questions. Again, reminding everyone that we made sure we took extra safety precautions while doing this. We made sure that we were wearing our face masks, our face shields. We kept sanitized the entire time and maintained social distancing just to get these answers. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get to the first question.
Here we go, our Man on the Street episode 2, and our topic is how can people navigate their emotions in this challenging world? And for our first question, let's listen to this. Isa ka ba sa nawalan ng trabaho nung nakaraang taon? Kung oo, ano nga or ano na ang ginagawa mo ngayon?
Isa ako sa nawalan ng trabaho nung nakaraang taon. Pero hindi ito dahilan para sumuko. Pero yun, naghanap ako ng alternative job para makatulong sa pamilya habang nag-aantay ng pagbalik sa ibang bansa.
Ano pong trabaho nyo nung last year?
Last year sa cruise ship ako nag-work as a chef, and then ngayon nung napauwi ako, currently nakahanap agad ako ng work as a merchandising supervisor.
Okay, so I really like yung variety sa answer ni Kuya. He said that yes, nawalan nga siya ng trabaho, but hindi yun dahilan para sumuko. I feel like that in itself is what so many of us have gone through during this pandemic. For me, for example, I had 6 jobs before the pandemic and really had to adapt in the past few months because I lost most of them, and that's really what everyone had to do. So very interesting na it shows the heart of a Filipino. Ito yung one of my favorite things about being a Filipino is that hindi ka pwedeng sumuko in whatever situation you're in, because you have to provide not just for yourself but for your family and for the people around you too. So I think maganda yung sagot na yon when opening up this topic, and yeah, I can't wait for us to dive deeper into it as we get to the next questions. So let's get to question number 2. Ano ang naidulot sa'yo ng pandemyang ito? Yung iba kasi nakaisip ng paraan para magpatuloy sa buhay sa pamagitan ng online selling. So ano yung mga ginawa nyo? Let's listen to the answers.
Sobrang laki ng naidulot ng pandemic na ito. Unang-una, family, sa personal din, sa mga Pilipino, sa mga tao. Kasi unang-una, ang daming nawalan ng trabaho, ang daming natanggal, miski malalaking kumpanya, maraming natanggalan. Tsaka, yung mga bata, hindi na sila mag-face-to-face sa klase nila. Siyempre, mahirap din naman mag-aral ng virtual or nasa computer ka lang. Mahirap, lalo na sa ibang course, mahirap magpatutunan. At saka mahirap din kung hindi totoo yung teacher sa isang estudyante. Napakalaki ng may positive and negative din namang nagdulot yung pandemic. Doon muna tayo sa positive. Ang naging magandang dulot ng pandemic is yung na sa family, nagkatipon-tipon ng family, syempre nasa loob lang ng bahay. Diba, nung nag-lockdown sa loob ng bahay, lahat ng membro ng family. Then, yun, nagkakausap-usap, yung mga hindi nagkita-kita nung may mga trabaho pa, mga busy pa lahat. Yun, yung dahil sa pandemic, nagka-usap-usap at naaayos yung mga hindi na pag-uusapan, napag-uusapan na.
Well, Jana, this answer right here really shows Filipino resiliency, di ba? Kahit na maraming iba't iba talagang pinagdaanan ang bawat Pilipino dahil sa pandemyang ito, we can see that this is the typical Filipino mindset. They see the good and the bad, and they tend to focus on the good. And that's why I'm very proud to be Filipino myself, because despite everything that has happened, I can see over and over again Filipinos, hindi nila hinahayaan na sila ay maging simpleng biktima. Talagang pinopoint out talaga nila kung ano ba yung naging mabuti na naging epekto ng kahit na anong pinagdadaanan natin sa buhay. And for me, that is very admirable, and what we should take away really, that no matter what happens, you cannot control what happens to you sometimes, but you can control how you react. And that's just a great Filipino trait for me. And of course, we now move on to our next question. Ang ating tanong ay, sa muling pagtaas ng COVID cases, payag ka ba na muling magka-lockdown sa iyong lugar?
Sa ganang akin, ayoko nang maulit tuloy ang COVID na magla-lockdown. Kasi mawawalan ako ng trabaho ulit at hindi ako makakapagtrabaho ng maigi.
Solid yung answer ni Kuya because it's so real. I think we can all agree that none of us want to go back to lockdown. I think it's been almost exactly a year since the lockdown happened, and we waited then. We just kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and we don't want to wait anymore. So I completely agree with him. But I think ang pagtaas ng COVID cases, it should be eye-opening for all of us now. Kasi medyo naging lax ulit tayo sa buhay natin. We've been going out more. We've been more careless about our actions. So I feel like this is really an eye-opener for us to start taking precautions again, to continue to be diligent with our actions, to make sure that, as we said throughout the entire pandemic, we want to flatten the curve. And it seems like there was a point where we were flattening it and then it's increasing again. So we don't want to move backwards. We've already made so much progress. I know, like for me, from Mandaluyong, may mga areas na nagla-lockdown ulit. And it's alarming. So with lockdown, of course, that's decrease of income for a lot of people. They're not able to go out more, less productivity. So yeah, I completely agree with your answer, Kuya. That's how we all feel. Nobody wants to go back to lockdown. But I hope that what's happening is an eye-opener for all of us. Na wag muna mag-relax ng sobra, that the pandemic is still happening. And we're actually going to be talking more about that throughout our evaluations after this last question. So, question number 4 asks, isa ka ba sa nakakaranas ng work from home setup o isa ka sa araw-araw pa rin pumapasok sa trabaho? Ano ang naidulot nito sa'yo? So, let's listen to the answer.
So, isa nga pala ako sa mga naka-experience ng work from home at the same time, yung araw-araw na pagpasok sa trabaho. So, una, nung nag-work from home ako, medyo mahirap. Kasi, unang-una, kulang ka sa resources. Kasi, may mga katrabaho kang nag-i-stay sa opisina. Pero at the same time, kailangan magbawas ng employee inside para less interaction. Pangalawa, since bahay ang comfort zone ng mga Filipino, doon lang sila nakaka-relax, nakakahinga, mahirap kasi yung stress nadadala mo sa bahay. So, kung hindi ka sanay sa environment of work from home, mahihirapan ka talagang mag-adjust during the pandemic. Number 3, since isa kaming food manufacturing company, after ilang months, we decided to go back sa opisina. So, ano din na idulot sa amin? Siyempre, panic, stress, kasi kung malapit lang yung bahay mo sa opisina, hindi ka kasama sa service, so you have to take a daily commute. So, nakikipag-interact ka sa mga tao na hindi mo kilala, sa mga GPs, nag-aabot ng bayad, which is isa sa mga nakakatakot kasi it can cause some anxieties kasi baka mamaya mahawaan ka ng COVID. Kasi sa GPs, mag-aabutan pa rin kayo ng bayad and may interaction ka pa rin sa mga tao hindi mo kilala. And at the same time, habang tumatagal yung pandemic, nakikita mo yung mga jeepneys, unti-unti na nagpupuno ulit ng jeeps and inaalisan na rin yung mga plastic covers. So, madaming na idudulot, pero most of it is stress. Kasi malaki yung factor na yun kasi natatakot ka na baka magkaroon ka rin ng COVID. So, yun yung mga na-experience ko dun sa dalawang setup ng pagtatrabaho. Either work from home pa yan or daily commute, nakaka-stress kasi hindi mo rin alam kung kailan ka magkakaroon ng COVID.
So much to relate to with what Ate was answering about, because as somebody who experienced the whole shift, to work from home, and then we were doing both. Parehas we were doing work from home, and then at the same time we were expected to come in at work physically for siguro nung una once a week, and then eventually it got to twice a week and then thrice a week. So nagigets ko yung sinasabi ni Ate na it was really something of a challenge. Yun yung nakita ko sa with what she said, because para sa akin isang napakalaking hamon para iuwi sa bahay ang iyong trabaho. A lot of people might think that it's so easy and might think it's a better deal. Kasi nasa bahay ka, you can do two things at the same time. But actually, work from home setup takes away so much from your personal me time. And ako, as a person, ako yung tipo ng tao na mas gusto nagtatrabaho in an office environment. So for me, it was a really big challenge, and I agree with you that was really difficult. Lalo na yung mga tao na I can imagine na they didn't have the right technicalities at home. Lalo na yung mga walang internet or computers, because we all know it's not really just about having a computer. You need to have the right specs, you need to have the right apps, and you really need to have a good grasp of the technology. So, nakakatuwa naman kasi everybody really was forced to become, techno-whizzes in their own right. They had to learn and they had to really brush up on their ability to adapt. So for me, ang takeaway ko from this is that at least through this pandemic, we were able to see how Filipinos were good at this skill, which is adapting. Well, what do you think, Jana? All 4 questions were really things that I could relate to. I think that everybody felt all these different emotions, reactions. Overall, what did you think about all their answers?
Well, I really liked all of their insights because we were able to see perspective from all of these people. And as you mentioned earlier, we can relate to all of their answers. So our main topic for today was how can people navigate their emotions in this challenging world. And when we talk about that, of course, we're specifically talking about the pandemic. And as much as it's taken a toll on the physical health of people, it's also taken a huge toll on everyone's mental health. I know we've been talking about that over and over, but we have to highlight it more. Our last question was about the work from home setup. I'm just like you. I love working in an office. I like being out and about and just packing my schedule. So having to work from home really took a toll on me because I didn't feel like I was being productive. I didn't feel like I was getting things done. I just didn't feel like myself, and that took a toll on my emotions. But when it comes to that, we have to realize that it's not just us going through it. So many people are going through that as well. And ang sinasabi nga natin, konting tiis na lang, we just have to work together, as cliche as that sounds, to really conquer this pandemic. Now, because it is International Women's Month, I think we also have to highlight na because we've spent so much more time at home recently, we really have to applaud our mothers, you know, the female leaders of our home. We're spending so much more time at home, so we're relying on, you know, the motherly figures of the house to cook more, to care for us more, to check up on us more. A lot of moms who have kids that are going to school at home also have to become teachers all of a sudden. And these are the people that we have to applaud, you know. Yes, our fathers are working, are out there trying to still suffice for their home, but we also have to applaud the woman of the house, which is commonly undermined. So I hope that is also an eye-opener and something that we can reflect on for this month, how everybody's been able to adapt and the people that we truly have to appreciate for helping us cope with this pandemic. Now, what about you? I know you have a lot of insights about this as well. What did you think about our topic for today?
Well, I have to say, I was asking myself, I was thinking back, like, how did I really navigate my emotions in this very, very challenging time? You know, and I realized that I was one of the lucky ones. I guess we were one of the lucky ones because we were in the Miss Philippines Earth pageant, and it actually helped me navigate myself through everything because it gave me something to focus on, it gave me something to aspire for, and it gave me something to have a purpose for. And I think that's very important. And if you would ask me what advice I would give to people, it is that in times where your emotions feels like they're having control of you rather than the other way around, one of the best things that you can do is just to accept that it's happening. Your emotions are running wild, and then after you accept it, you give them time to run wild, and then you start to sit down and refocus your energies. Think about what you really want to do. Think about what you want to have as you move your way forward into this what they say post-pandemic. But I don't want to call it like that because it makes people think that the pandemic is over. But the truth of the matter is, it's still here with us, and the rising case of coronavirus patients is proof of that. And I would like to say that as we move forward into this new world, you know, I hope that we would be able to see the value of being able to focus ourselves. And now that it's International Women's Month, I agree with you. We really seem to realize more quite a more focused realization on the important role that the mother or the women in our families really play. And I hope that as we move forward through this month, we will find the time to say thank you to our mothers, grandmothers, sisters, and even to yourself as a woman for being able to navigate your emotions as well as you have. Because if you're right here, right now, you're watching with us, you're having fun, you're smiling, and you're relating, then I can say that you have survived the worst and you will survive whatever will come. And I think we also have to give tribute to the fact that women around the world really are often connected to the idea of emotional intelligence. And I think that's one thing that we women have to be proud of. Yeah, it's true. We have a lot of different emotions going on in our mind, or we are the ones who are usually termed as emotional in any kind of partnership. But for me, being a woman, being able to recognize and being able to feel different ranges of emotions is what makes us stronger. And here's the stronger and a more a more free atmosphere, or more let's just say more empowering society for women in the next years to come. So that's it for me, and I'm very happy to be able to have this session with you, Jana. It's nice because I hope people are, having fun, and I hope that you guys are looking forward to the day that we pass our crowns, though we are not.
I know, it's so soon.
forward to that. No.
Yeah, so in addition to that, I think we want to highlight that, of course, especially this month, we want to celebrate strong, powerful women, but we should be doing that every single day of the year. So be sure to voice out everything that you felt, all of the emotions you felt through the pandemic, or again, your own answers to the questions we asked today about how you've been navigating your mental health in this challenging world. Please do comment down below and share and keep engaged on our social media accounts.
Yeah, check out our social media accounts. We have our IG at Miss Phil Earth, and then we also have our Facebook at Miss Philippines Earth, and we have our YouTube at Miss Philippines-Earth, and our Twitter at Miss Earth PH.
Perfect. And of course, I know so many people have already been asking us about when the next batch of Miss Philippines Earth Queens are going to be introduced. So stay tuned for some announcements about our screening. We can't wait to meet the newest batch of delegates as well. And with that, we want to say a very happy International Women's Month. Again, celebrate the women in your life every single day of the year, but especially this month, tell them how much you love them and appreciate them. We'll see you for another episode of Man on the Street once again next week. My name is Gianna Llanes, your Miss Philippines Water 2020.
And this has been Patricia Santos, your Miss Philippines Air 2020, always reminding you to please be better caretakers of our planet. Bye!